Imagine Europe in flames, devastated by decades of brutal conflicts, where religion and politics intertwine in a deadly dance. This is the backdrop for the 30 Years' War, one of the most turbulent periods in the continent's history. From 1618 to 1648, armies clashed, cities were plundered, and millions of lives were lost. But what really motivated this devastating war? Was it faith, the quest for power, or an explosive combination of both? To understand the roots of this conflict, we need to go back in time and delve into the historical context of 17th century Europe. The Holy Roman Empire, a mosaic of kingdoms and principalities, was the stage for growing tensions between Catholics and Protestants. The Protestant Reformation, initiated by Martin Luther in 1517, had challenged the authority of the Catholic Church, creating a deep religious divide on the continent. In this cauldron of conflicts, a spark was enough to set Europe ablaze. In 1618, the defenestration of Prague, an act of rebellion against the Catholic emperor, marked the beginning of the 30 Years' War. But was this purely a religious war, as many believe, or were there other motivations behind the violence and bloodshed? Join us on this journey through history as we unravel the mysteries and complexities of the 30 Years' War. The seeds of discord, religion. The Protestant Reformation, initiated by Martin Luther in 1517, was like an earthquake that shook the foundations of the Catholic Church. Luther, a German monk, challenged papal authority and denounced the Church's corrupt practices, causing a profound rupture in Christianity. His ideas spread rapidly across Europe, gaining followers in various countries, particularly in Germany, where princes and nobles embraced Protestantism in search of greater autonomy from the power of the Catholic emperor. The Catholic Church, for its part, did not remain idle in the face of the Protestant challenge. The Counter-Reformation, led by the Pope and driven by the Society of Jesus, sought to contain the spread of Protestantism and reaffirm the Church's authority. However, the religious divide was already entrenched, and Europe became a stage for disputes and conflicts between Catholics and Protestants. Religious intolerance was the hallmark of the era. Catholics and Protestants clashed in wars and persecutions, each side seeking to impose their faith and eliminate the other's heresy. The 80 Years' War between Catholic Spain and the Protestant Netherlands was a striking example of these religious conflicts that raged Europe in the 16th century. In this climate of tension, any spark could ignite a great conflagration. And that's exactly what happened in 1618 in the city of Prague, the capital of Bohemia. Rebellious Protestants, dissatisfied with the imposition of Catholicism by Emperor Ferdinand II, stormed Prague Castle and threw 3 of the emperor's representatives out of the window. This episode, known as the Defenestration of Prague, marked the beginning of the 30 Years' War, a conflict that would plunge Europe into decades of violence and destruction. Power and ambition, politics. Although religion was an important factor in the 30 Years' War, it would be naive to believe it was the only cause of the conflict. Behind the religious disputes lay political ambitions and power struggles that shaped the course of the war. 17th century Europe was dominated by great dynasties, such as the Habsburgs, who controlled the Holy Roman Empire in Spain, and the Bourbons, who ruled France. These dynasties were in constant competition, seeking to expand their territories, increase their influence, and secure hegemony on the continent. The 30 Years' War became a stage for these power struggles. Kingdoms allied and betrayed, pursuing their own interests and advantages. France, for example, a Catholic country, allied with German and Swedish Protestants to weaken the Habsburgs, their rivals. This alliance demonstrates how politics often overshadowed religious differences. In this political game, several key figures exerted significant influence on the course of the war. Ferdinand II, the Catholic emperor of the Holy Roman Empire, was a staunch defender of the Counter-Reformation and sought to consolidate his power over the German princes. Gustavus Adolphus, King of Sweden, entered the war in defense of the Protestants, but also with the aim of expanding Swedish influence in the Baltic region. And Cardinal Richelieu, the chief minister of France, manipulated events behind the scenes, seeking to weaken the Habsburgs and strengthen France. The war, therefore, was not just a religious conflict, but also a political instrument. It was used to conquer territories, control resources, impose ideologies, and consolidate the power of the great European dynasties. Religion, although present, often served as a pretext to justify political actions and mobilize the people. The intersection of faith and power. As we have seen, the 30 Years' War cannot be understood as a purely religious or political conflict. Religion and politics were intrinsically linked, influencing each other and creating a complex web of motivations and actions. Religion was frequently used as a political instrument. Religious leaders and rulers invoked faith to justify their actions, mobilize the people, and gain support for their objectives. The defense of the true faith served as a pretext for wars and persecutions, masking the real political intentions behind the conflicts. On the other hand, politics was also used as a religious instrument. Rulers interfered in religious matters, supporting or repressing different religious groups according to their interests. Religion thus became a tool for consolidating power, controlling the population, and maintaining social order. This complex interaction between religion and politics can be observed in various moments of the 30 Years' War. The intervention of Sweden, for example, led by King Gustavus Adolphus, a fervent Lutheran, was motivated both by the defense of Protestantism and the ambition to expand Swedish power in Europe. Similarly, Catholic France, by allying with German Protestants, demonstrated that political interests could override religious differences. The complexity of the 30 Years' War has sparked debates among historians about the relative importance of religion and politics in the conflict. Some argue that religion was the main driver of the war, while others contend that politics played a more significant role. However, most agree that the war was a multifaceted event, with complex and interconnected causes and motivations. A legacy of destruction and change. After 3 decades of bloody conflicts, the 30 Years' War left a trail of destruction and suffering across Europe. Cities were reduced to ashes, fields were devastated, and millions of people lost their lives. But beyond the destruction, the war also brought profound changes to the continent, reshaping the political map and shaping the international order. The Holy Roman Empire, once a dominant power, emerged from the war fragmented and weakened. The Peace of Westphalia, signed in 1648, recognized the independence of various territories and redrew the borders between European kingdoms. Sweden, for example, consolidated its dominion over the Baltic region, while France emerged as the continent's leading power. The Treaty of Westphalia, a milestone in the history of international law, established new principles for relations between states. National sovereignty was recognized, and interference in the internal affairs of other countries was limited. Furthermore, the treaty guaranteed religious freedom for different groups, contributing to the reduction of religious tensions in Europe. The 30 Years' War also spurred significant military advances. New weapons, such as the musket and the bayonet, were developed and refined, and war tactics evolved. The infantry gained greater importance, and the heavy cavalry, once dominant on the battlefield, lost ground. The social and cultural changes were also profound. The war caused a significant population decline, with millions of deaths from combat, famine, and disease. The European economy suffered a severe impact, with the destruction of cities, fields, and trade routes. The war also left deep marks on people's minds, generating a sense of insecurity and disillusionment. The 30 Years' War, as we have seen, was a conflict of extreme complexity, whose roots extend beyond a simple dichotomy between religion and politics. Although the Protestant Reformation and the Counter-Reformation created a climate of religious tension in Europe, political ambitions and power struggles among the great dynasties also played a crucial role in the outbreak and development of the war. Religion and politics intertwined in an intricate manner, influencing each other and shaping the course of the conflict. Religion was used as a political instrument to mobilize the people and justify actions, while politics was used as a religious instrument to promote or persecute different groups according to the interests of the rulers. The 30 Years' War teaches us that history rarely fits into simple categories, and that past events are often motivated by a combination of complex and interconnected factors. Reducing the war to a single cause, whether religious or political, is to ignore the rich tapestry of events and motivations that comprise it. The consequences of the war were profound and lasting. The map of Europe was redrawn, the international order was reconfigured, and European society suffered a severe impact. The 30 Years' War reminds us of the dangers of intolerance, the relentless pursuit of power, and the fragility of peace. It is crucial that we learn from the mistakes of the past and strive to build a more tolerant and peaceful future. The 30 Years' War, with all its complexity and tragedy, serves as a warning of the dangers of division and violence, and invites us to reflect on how we can prevent such horrors from recurring. And so, we come to the end of our journey through the 30 Years' War. I hope this video has helped you better understand this fascinating and complex conflict. Leave your thoughts on the topic in the comments. Do you think the 30 Years' War was primarily motivated by religious or political issues? Share your ideas, and let's continue this conversation. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel to not miss the next videos on history, curiosities, and much more. And if you like the content, share it with your friends and help spread the knowledge. Soon, we will have more videos exploring other historical events and unraveling mysteries of the past. See you next time.